Recording in progress.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Krishnaya Paramatmane Namaha Shri Kanto Mathulo Yasya Janani Sarvamangala Janaka Shankaro Devaha Tam Vande Kunjarananam Yonta Pravishya Mama Vachamimam Prasuptam Sanjeevayatyakila Shakti Dharaswadhamna अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् श्रीहरये नमः कृष्णाय परमात्मने नमः Namaste to you all. We are in chapter 5, and Bhagavan is talking about karma sannyasa, which is a very beautiful topic because Arjuna asks, hey, you are asking me to give up, and you are you're describing the greatness of giving up action, and you are asking me to act as well. So two contrasting things. It is like sthiti and gati, as Shankaracharya said. You cannot walk and sit at the same time. So you have to choose one. So you tell me what is good for me. Whatever is good for me, you tell me, is the ask of Arjuna. And Bhagavan, instead of telling him, hey, this is what is good for you, he is going to tell him. In fact, he has been telling from the first, but he wants him to understand. So that is the reason why we study Gita, is to understand. So Bhagavan is helping us in that process. He is aiding that understanding, and this understanding he wants to make Arjuna realize what is sannyasa and what is karma, and how can that coexist in a person. And when that coexistence happens, he becomes a yogi. In fact, this yogi is the ideal person that is projected by Krishna throughout Gita. Interestingly, Shankaracharya made a striking statement that outer sannyasa is not needed. Sannyasam na kartavyam. We saw that Bhashya passage where the reason why he says that is because this is a realization that a person needs to get, and the beauty of this is that it helps him in his day-to-day activities. And Bhagavan described such a yogi, naiva kinchit karoti karomi, aham naiva kinchit karomi. I am not the actor, I am not the karta, I am not the receiver of the result either, I am not the bhokta. He realizes that yuktaha manyeta tattva vit, somebody who really has that understanding. And in spite of that, where does that understanding lie? That understanding lies when he is performing all the different actions. Pashyan, Shrinvan, Sprishan, Jighan, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Shwasan, all the time, when he is talking, when he is taking something, when he is giving up something, Visarjan, all that, even when he is blinking his eyes, unmishan nimishan api, when all the karmendriyas and jnanendriyas are constantly engaged, this person knows that I am the Sakshi, Indriya. And how does he know that? Because he sees that, hey, it is just the sense objects that are receiving input from the senses and acting on the world, which is all matter that is in play. I, the consciousness, does not play in that field. Indriyani indriyartheshu vartanta iti manasa buddhya dharayan. Having firmly established that this person moves around in this world like this. Okay, beautiful. But how do we get to that state? So Bhagavan is going to really give that the road map of Karma Yoga in one beautiful verse. Actually, this is like a Maha Mantra for Karma Yoga. So in Bhagavad Gita, when you say Yoga, it is karma yoga, not ashtanga yoga. So, how does a jignasu need to conduct himself? Bhagavan talked about a mumukshu, somebody who has realized that he is not the karta, not the bhokta, he is just the jnata. But how do I get to that state? Here Bhagavan gives a beautiful roadmap. Let us read this verse first. Help me read this, Ganesh.
Yeah, sure.
Brahmanyadhaya karmani.
Brahmanyadhaya karmani.
Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha.
Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha.
Lipyate na sa papena.
Lipyate na sa papena.
Padmapatramivambhasa.
Padmapatramivambhasa.
Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate na sa papena padmapatramivambhasa. Bhagavan gives the roadmap and gives an example as well. Very beautiful. He says, Brahmani. The words that are there are Brahmani, Adhaya, Karmani, Sangam, Tyaktva, Karoti, Yaha, Lipyate na, Sa, Papena, Padma, Patram, Iva, Ambhasa. So let us look at the word by word meaning of this verse. Brahmani, in Brahman, Adhaya, having placed. He places it in Brahman. Adhanam means to place something. There is a popular ritual that is prescribed for brahmacharis called samidadhanam, meaning you take a samit and put it in the agni, not put it, place it in the agni. Adhaya. Kannika is also, many people say it's as Kannika Dhanam actually. These things do not say it like that. They say Kannika Adhanam, Kannika Dhanam, where you place the bride and the groom together. So placing it. So Brahmani Adhaya, you place it in Brahman. Okay, what? Karmani. All actions. Sarvani Karmani Brahmani Adhaya. So you place all these actions in Brahman. Okay. Sangam Tyaktva. Having, Tyaktva means having given up, having abandoned. Tyaktva. Sangam. Sangam means attachment. Here, Sangam means attachment. Giving up attachment. Sangam Tyaktva Karoti. He performs. Yaha, that person. So this person performs action having given up attachment and places all this action in Brahman. Brahmani Adhaya Sarvani Karmani Sangam Tyaktva Saha Karoti. Yaha, whoever does that, whoever does it like that. So the three main lakshanas are given here. One is he does not have attachment and aversion. Sangatyagi. He is. This person is. The other is he is Sarvani Karmani Karoti. He is somebody who is performing all the actions, and he is somebody who is placing all the actions in Brahman. What does that mean? We'll see it. Bhashyakara is going to tell us. Brahmani Adhaya Karmani Sangam Tyaktva Karoti. Saha. If you do it like that, na lipyate. It is not tainted. That action does not taint you. Saha. Yaha saha. Whichever person performs it like that, for that person, saha papena, by papa, by sin. as we say sin as a biblical connotation, but here you know punya and papa. Here punya and papa both are denoted by the word papa. In several places in Gita, when Bhagavan says dharma, sometimes it means dharma and adharma. Sarva dharman parityajya means sarva adharman api parityajya. So when both dualities need to be represented, Bhagavan uses only one word. So when he says papa, it is both papa and punya. Lipyate na papena na punyena api. How like that? Can you give me an example? Yes, I can give you an example. Padma patram. Oh Arjuna, have you not seen the leaf patram of Padma? Padma means a lotus. Have you not seen a lotus leaf? Ambhasa, in the water, that lotus leaf is there, but it is not tainted by the water. Water does not wet it. There is a beautiful coating of wax that is there in it that protects it from water making that wet. So like that, like a lotus leaf in the water, this person who performs all actions without any attachment, having placed all those actions in Brahman, he is free of punya and papa. So this is the overall meaning of the verse. So Bhagavan says, this person is he who acts abandoning attachment, dedicating his action to Brahman, is untainted by the punya or papa, just as a lotus leaf is not tainted by the water. Okay. So brahmani adhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha saha lipyate na papena padmapatram iva ambhasa. This is what Bhagavan says. Bhashyakara has something beautiful to say. Brahmani. See, here is what comes the aid of Shankaracharya. He says, Ishware. When you say Brahmani, here it cannot mean Nirguna Nirakara Brahman. You know, there you cannot place an action. Here he says, in the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Ishware adhaya karmani. Ishwarartam karma karomi. Vishnoho ajnaya parameshwara prityartham aham sarvani karmani karomi. Like that is the attitude. He is placing all these actions that he is performing, all actions, in the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Brahmani Ishware adhaya nikshipya. He offers it. Like how tadartham karma karomi. What does that mean? Offering it means what? Do you take it like how you take something and then put it there? It is not like that. What is offering means? Shankaracharya defines tadartham karma karomi. For the sake of Ishvara, I am performing the action. So I am not the karta, Ishvara is the karta. Say when you want to perform a puja, the pujari comes and performs the puja. He is not the yajamana. You are the yajamana. You can just sit there and watch it, but still you are the yajamana. Of course, so you become the karta for that karma. So karma pala has to come to you, not for the pujari. You know, you invite him and do a big Satyanarayana Vratam, the palan has to come to the karta, not to the person who is performing. Like that, tadartham karma karomi, yajamanartham karma karomi, ishwarartham karma karomi, tadartham karma karomi iti bhritya iva, like a servant, swamyartham sarvani karmani. Swamyartham, for the reason of my Swami, for my Lord, my Ishvara, for my Rama, my Krishna, my Parameshwara, my Ganesha, anybody, you call any name, doesn't matter. For that Ishvara, Swamyartham sarvani karmani karomi. Moksho api phale, even in moksha pala, Sangam tyaktva karoti. So he is not attached to any result that comes out of it, including moksha. A very beautiful statement by Shankaracharya there. He is not attached to anything. So, kimartam Gita Adhyayanam mokshartam na. Why are you studying Gita? No, for the joy of studying it. That's all. I don't even want moksha out of it. Moksho api phale sangam tyaktva karoti yaha. Whoever does it like that, sarva karmani. He not just puja. He does all activities like that. Yadyat karma karomi tattadakhilam. All the karmas that I do it with that attitude. When I do it like that attitude, or when you practice doing all your attitude with that bhavana, that this is an action that is being directed to me by Ishvara and I am performing it on behalf of Ishvara, and I am not the karta, and I place this action in the lotus feet of Ishvara, meaning I have the understanding that Ishvarartham karma karomi. So when that attitude gets on to this person, lipyate nasa papena na sambadhyate. He is not associated with papa. Padma patram iva ambasa udakena. The water does not wet the lotus leaf like that. Kevalam sattva shuddhi matrameva phalam tasya karmanaha syat. Beautiful observation by Shankaracharya. Does that mean that there is no result for this action? Because karma has to produce a karma phalam. Obviously. So what is the karma phalam that this karma is going to produce? Now he is offering, he hasn't become just the jnata. Okay? He is just having the notion that I am not the karta. Okay? He is not a realized person yet. But he is practicing that, hey, this is something that I am going to do as an offering to Ishvara. When I do it with that attitude, there is a karma phala. What is that karma phala? Sattva shuddhi matram eva phalam tasya karmanaha syat. Very beautiful phala that he gets. It is the purity of mind that he gets. Sattva shuddhi matram. So it does not produce punya, it does not produce papa. So in fact, sattva shuddhi is much greater than punya, because you enjoy a very beautiful equanimity of mind when you become a yogi. So punya produce pleasure and papa produce sorrow and displeasure. Neither is there with him. For him, his sattva is shuddha. Sattva shuddhi, manas shuddhi, chitta shuddhi. In fact, chitta shuddhi is a word that we have heard a lot. Shankaracharya uses a beautiful word, sattva shuddhi. Sattva means here manas alone, but it has a special connotation there. Actually, manas is like a vessel. You have to put some thought in it all the time. It cannot be empty unless you are in deep sleep state. Including dream, it is a thought that is running in this vessel around it all the time. So how do you make this pure? Does that mean that you take all thoughts away from it? No. That is not what purity of mind means. You also fill it. How do you fill it? You fill it with sattva. With beautiful thoughts. Sattva shuddhi. Matrameva phalam. All the thoughts that occur to him are always in line with sattva. Sattvika guna pradhana vrittayaha eva tasmin chitte pravartate. Tateva sattva shuddhi. Beautifully, we can explain that. Sattvika chitta vrittis alone occur in his mind, and that in itself makes him enjoy that state of mind. So that is the, when sattvic mind is there, that in itself is a mind that enjoy. Sattva shuddhi matrameva phalam tasya karmanaha. Okay. So the example, so Bhagavan gives an example. The intent of the example is that think about a lotus. The life and sustenance of a lotus is all in water. The same way we are born and sustained by karma. But when you turn karma as a yoga, it acts like a lotus leaf that does not get wet by water, even though constantly in water, and it is nourished by water. So karma is the one that is making us do all the activities. It is the one that is nourishing us, but it does not trouble us. So karma does not produce bondage. So karma produces a karma phala, but that karma phala is the beautiful sattva shuddhi of that person. Interestingly, Bhagavan Jnaneshwara in Jnaneshwari in the shloka says that a light that is lit in a room makes everybody do all kinds of activities. In fact, because the light is on, everybody does his, one person does his thing, another person is reading, another person is watching something, another person is cooking. All this happens in that space only because of this light. But the light truly does not participate in anything. Like that, the mind of a yogi knows that indriyas work. In all the indriyas, all the sense organs work, and the Atma Prakasha is the one that is making all these indriyas work, but it is not tainted by the actions, or it does not even participate in these actions. He gives another analogy more than Bhagavan Krishna. So Jnaneshwara is Krishna himself. So he gives another analogy which is also very beautiful. So all these analogies are just to reiterate the point in our mind. That's the intent of an analogy. Makes understanding that metaphor. This lotus leaf metaphor is from the Upanishad. So in the Chandogya Upanishad, Yatha Pushkara Palasha Apo Na Slishyata Evam Vidhi Papam Karmana Slishyate. Yatha Pushkara Pala. Here Bhagavan says Padmapatra. There he says Pushkara Palashaha. So like that. So this, even the analogy, Bhagavan takes it from the Upanishads. That is the point that I wanted to make. Because Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopala Nandanaha. In fact, there have been Mahatmas. I think one Pandit from Madhva Sampradaya has taken every verse in Bhagavad Gita and exactly pointed out where in the Upanishad he is taking this idea and even paraphrasing it. Even the phrasing is just directly from the Upanishad. So even this analogy is from the Chandogya Upanishad. That is the point I wanted to make. So another beautiful thing is, why should you offer the karma as to Ishvara? Meaning, why should you act on behalf of Ishvara? The thing is, a mind is something that we have to carry as long as we live. But if you indulge in action and have the mind in punya, if you indulge in action with the idea that aham karta, the problem that comes is punya in one side, papa in another side. These two are the things that come and rest on the mind and make a vasana in the mind. That is the reason why we act in a certain way later. Later as in later in this life and even in later lives. Why are we thinking in a certain way? Why are we inclined towards certain things? All this is because of the previous vasanas. And that previous vasana is because of the punya and papa and punya and papa. This beautiful thing of offering karma to the lotus feet of Ishvara is is a way by which you slowly fill these vasanas with sattva, so that the mind becomes purer and purer. It doesn't need to get that force towards acting in a certain way. We are not impelled to act in a certain way. We can make good decisions, really. Actually, moksha is somewhere. Even if you leave that, even on a day-to-day living, brahmani adhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyatena sapapena padmapatram bhasa. This offering the mind to Ishwar, brahmani adhaya karmani. I just wanted to make one observation. I'll tell you why I'm saying this. In the case of Shankaracharya, there is a lot of literature that you see. Iti Srimad Shankara Bhagavad Padaihi Pranitam. It is this, like this. It is written by Shankara Bhagavad Pada. Okay. There are like hundreds of stotras. There is all the three Prasthanatrayas that has so much of Upanishad Bhashyam and Brahma Sutra Bhashyam and Gita Bhashyam, and there is so many Prakarana Granthas like Atma Bodha, Tattva Bodha, Viveka Chudamani, Prabodha Sudhakara. I can name 10 of them very easily. There is like so much that are there. Did the original Shankara write all these things? We don't know. That is a historical question, and in the Sampradaya they don't take up these historical questions. That is in fact a Mahatma would say that is that is the work of a historian. That is what Kanchi Mahaswami said. There was some historian who came and posed some question and all that, and he said, hey, this is the field that you are an expert in. I am not. This is the work of a historian. You find out. But say Shivananda Lahari, that in that 100 verses on Parameshwara, there is one verse that says Samapyaikam chetas sarasijam umanatha padayoho. Let me offer my mind lotus, chetas sarasijam, my heart as the lotus to the feet of Parameshwara. He says, instead of what? Instead of Gabhire kasare dishati ghora vipine vishale shailecha Brahmati kusumartham jadamatihi. Oh, all these people are like running all over the place collecting flowers and trying to offer these flowers. Gabhire kasare dishati ghora vipine, in very, oh, that flower is available in this forest, that flower is available in this garden. All this I quit, he says. Let me offer just only one lotus, which is my heart lotus. Okay. This idea resonates with the Bhashyam. Brahmani Ishware Adhaya Nikshipya Tadartham Karma Karomi iti. So in the tradition, normally we accept anything that resonates with the idea that Shankaracharya puts forward. We do not know what is the original work and stuff like that, but we want to be in line with the teaching that he has given in the Prasthanatraya, in the Upanishad Bhashya, in the Brahma Sutra Bhashya, and in the Bhagavad Gita Bhashya. So anything that is in line, we accept it with a Pujya Buddhi. Anything that is not in line, we reject it. So that is just a side point. This state of mind, this sattva state of mind, that you act without the notion that you are the karta, is not just in the Sanatanic tradition. Buddha Bhagavan also has so much of emphasis on this. I am not an expert in Buddhism, but when I saw how he defines nirvana without any sensory agitation and without the mind being bothered by Mara, That is the language of the Buddhist Pali language. Mara meaning Cupid, but that's not a physical Cupid. It is like distortions and agitations of the mind. When that mind enjoys a certain beautiful sattva, he calls it nirvana. That is the definition of nirvana he gives, and this offering of karma to the lotus feet of Ishvara is the cardial principle of karma yoga. That is the reason why Shankaracharya has interpreted this word Brahmani as Ishvare in the Bhashya. So this is a very important principle of karma yoga. Karma yoga resides in the cardial principle that you act as not as the beneficiary but as the servant of Ishvara in this world. So Bhagavan is saying this is true sannyasa. So now Brahmani Ishvare adhaya karmani Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate nasa papena padmapatramiva ambhasa. Okay, so yasmat. Okay, now Arjuna is saying, can you give me a pramana that the mind of a mumukshu or a yogi becomes pure by offering the actions to Ishvara? So you said Brahmani adhaya karmani, Ishvare adhaya karmani, and you say that you get sattva shuddhi. Can you elaborate on that? Can you give me a proof from the Shastra? For that, Bhagavan gives a beautiful verse, which is also another verse that is very important from a karma yoga perspective. So Gayatri ji, if you are available, we can read.
Sure.
Kayena manasa buddhya
Kayena manasa buddhya
kevalairindriyairapi
kevalairindrayairapi
yoginah karma kurvanti
yoginah karma kurvanti
sangam tyaktva
sangam tyaktva
atma shuddhaye
atmashuddhaye
kayena manasa buddhya kevalairindriyairapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. Thank you. So kayena manasa buddhya kevalaihi indriyaihi api yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. The same idea that Shankaracharya put forward in the Bhashyam is elaborated by Bhagavan. So kayena, by the body, all Tritiya Vibhaktis, or kayena, by the body, manasa, by the mind, buddhya, by the intellect. When you read this, a popular verse should come to your mind. Kayena, manasa, buddhya, kevalaihi, only, indriyaihi, by the senses, api, also, yoginaha, yogi. Always the word yogi means karma yogi in Bhagavad Gita. And he is the real yogi. Okay, yoginaha, those yogis, karma, kurvanti, perform action. Karma, kurvanti. How? Sangam tyaktva, having given up attachment. Sangam tyaktva. For what? Atma shuddhaye, for the purification of the mind. So these yogis abandon attachment and perform action with the body, the mind and the intellect and the senses only for the purification of the mind. Shankaracharya said he does not even want moksha. So that is the attitude of a karma yogi. So let us look at the Bhashyam. Kayena, dehena, using the body, manasa, buddhya cha, kevalaihi, mamatva varjitaihi. Using the body, mind, intellect, kevalaihi, mamatva varjitaihi, free of ego. Mamatva means the ego here. Hey, mine. That mamatvam, ahankara is the mamatva. Varjitaihi, free of ego. So, what does that means? Free of ego. Shankaracharya said, Ishwarayaiva karma karomi na mama phalaya. I act for the sake of Ishvara, not for the result for myself. Ishwaraya eva karma karomi na mama phalaya iti mamatva buddhi shunyaihi. Because of this attitude, he does not have any ego towards that. And indriyairapi, using all the sense organs. Kevala shabdaha. Here, kevalaihi indriyahi means generally, if you just interpret kevalaihi indriyahi, that would mean that it is only with indriyas. Well, can you really act only with indriyas without the mind or the intellect? Actually, all of these together is what gets into actions. Karma pravritti is through not just indriya, with manas, with buddhi, with chitta, with ahankara. All of this operates. But what is kevalaihi means here? So Shankaracharya clarifies. Kevala shabdaha kayadibirapi pratyekam sambadhyate. So kevala kayena, kevalaihi manasa, like that. It is like Kevala means without ego in all planes, not just in the indriyas, but he is free of ego in all actions, in his mind, in his intellect, in his sensory perceptions, everything he is free of ego. Kevalaihi, kevala shabdavaha kayadibirapi pratyekam sambadhyate. Sarva vyapareshu mamatva varjanaya. He is free of ego in all actions. Yoginaha karminaha. So yogi means karma yogi. Yoginaha karminaha. Karma kurvanti. They perform action. Sangam tyaktva. What is sangam? Without attachment. Sangam tyaktva. Tyaktva, to give up. Sangam tyaktva, having given up attachment. Phala vishayam atma shuddhe sattva shuddhe ityarthaha. So, he is not interested in anything that is produced by this action, but he is interested in the purity of mind that this thing brings. Tasmat iti arthaha. Shankaracharya adds, Tasmat tatraiva tava adhikaraha iti kuru karmaiva. He always brings the whole idea of Bhagavad Gita all the time. If you see it, what he is saying is that Bhagavan here said in second chapter, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhuhu mate sangostva karmani. So that he reminds and says, Tasmat tatraiva tava adhikaraha. This is what is good for you. Now you ask, what is good for me? Act like this. So it is not about giving up action or indulging in action for a selfish motive. You can combine both sannyasa and karma, and you can act. Tasmat tatraiva tava adhikaraha iti kuru karmaiva. This is directed towards Arjuna by Shankaracharya, and as though Krishna is saying. So knowing this, your duty now is to act like that, O Arjuna. So this is the essence of the verse. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalair indriyairapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. So, Swami Chidbhavananda makes a very beautiful observation. He says, the motive attached to action is what makes it gets attached to the result. So, what you are doing is to take away the motive. when you replace the motive, when it is eliminated and the action becomes a service, so when you replace the motive as though it is for me and replace that motive as the service of Ishvara, then Sattva Shuddhi, purity of mind, becomes the phalam of that action. So yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. So the popular this attitude is emphasized in the Shastras all through. Say you call a priest and say, let us perform Satyanarayana Vratam. Okay, or Chandi Parayan, or a puja, Varalakshmi Vratam, Ganesha Vratam, or even Nitya Puja. People who perform Nitya Puja will know. They will say, Mama Upatta Samasta Durita Kshaya Dwara Shri Parameshwara Prityartham Vishnurajñaya Pravarthamanasya Aham Nityaradhanam Karishye. So the sankalpa that is made, the motive of performing a Vaidika karma is always Ishwarartham. Ishwaraiva karma karomi na mama phalaya. That is the sankalpa. First sankalpa. Then that person will say, Kshemasthairia Virya Vijaya Ayura Arogya Aishwaryanam Abhivadyatam Dharmartha Kama Chaturvida Moksha Purushartha Phala Siddhyatam Prapta Lakshmi Rameshta. If you go to a priest, they will read another 15 minutes worth of good things for you through this karma. But the main motive of that karma is to give you that sattva shuddhi. So slowly, when we do in our sampradayas and all, at least the sankalpa, Ishvara Prityartham, Loka Kshemartham, or Bhagavan Mukhollasa Siddhyartham, like that is when the sankalpa is recited. For the pleasure of Ishvara, for as a command of Ishvara, Vishnur Ajñaya. And this is when you start with the karma. That is, you would have noticed that. And even when you end the karma, we end it with this same attitude. Kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana vak prakrite svabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. We offer it to Bhagavan and says, I offer this karma to you. So offering the karma and acting on behalf of Ishvara is emphasized in the Shastra throughout any Vedic karma. And Bhagavan here not just as Vedic karma. See, this is one other problem that many religious people have. They think that their puja is in the puja room. Bhagavan says that's not where your puja room is. By the time you get up and go to the bathroom, your puja has already started. Because Kayena manasa buddhya kevalair indriyairapi, all indriya pravrittis yoginaha karma kurvanti. By that time you use your body from the time you get up till the time you rest. All that you perform is Ishvara Puja, Ishvara Aradhanam, Bhagavad Aradhanam, Yeva. First, that realization has to slowly set in us. In fact, in the Navayogi, we are saying this Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva, very popular verse, everybody knows that. You know what is the origin of this verse? There is a Navayogi Upakhyamanam in Bhagavatam, where there are 9 yogis who come, and in 2 to 3 verses or 4 verses by every person, the entire spiritual journey of a person they describe. Kavihi, Harihi, Antarikshaha, Prabuddhaha. There are 9 yogis that come to a yaga, and you know who takes up this Akhyanam, meaning this episode. Krishna takes up this episode and talks to Uddhava about it in Uddhava Gita. And there the yogi says, Kayena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va anusrita swabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayet tat. So we have converted that into samarpayami because it applies to us. So, even I have seen Chinnajiyar Swami do this very beautifully. In one of the Gita verses, Madarpanam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati, or Krishna is saying, offer it to me, but he'll change the shloka as an offering to Krishna, where with the same Manasa, Buddhya and so on. I don't remember the exact shloka. There are videos that you could watch, very beautifully done by that Mahatma. So the attitude is the same, where you are offering all. See, the beauty is there is no secular and religious things for a yogi. For him, everything is spiritual. So you need not bother whether you have taken bath to perform this puja. Taking bath in itself is a puja for this karma, for a yogi. So Sangam Tyaktva, anytime you do an activity with selflessly, Sangam Tyaktva Atma Shuddhaye, Yoginaha Karma Kurvanti, Sangam Tyaktva Atma Shuddhaye. Using all the karanas, Kayena, Manasa, Buddhya, Indriyahi, Sarvaihi, Api. In this, another thing is, you would have noticed the word Sangam in Bhagavad Gita, and many of the things that repeatedly occur in Bhagavad Gita has the same connotation, except for some things like Brahma, or Atma, or Mom, I. Like, what is that I? Sometimes that I is the son of the Devaki and Vasudeva, that person. Sometimes that is Ishvara, sometimes that is Atma. So that Asmat Shabda, you have to interpret it correctly every time Krishna says it. Sometimes he say as the Sarvantaryami, I am the indweller in every living being. When he says that, he is the Antaryami. So the different context, the word meaning different things, but some words have the same, and Sangam always meaning the same egocentric attachment. So this is a constant meaning that runs through Gita. You will see in all the chapters, this word is Sangam. So if you act without that, your vasanas slowly exhaust. This is a beautiful way to rewire our brain here and now. So once we selflessly start acting as a representative of Ishvara, we enjoy a certain amount of peace in our life, and slowly it changes our behavior. So that is something that helps even a mundane person to take up yoga here. Okay. So now Bhagavan says, if you do this, you will become a yogi. Okay? Kayena manasa buddhya kevalaihi indriyaihi api yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. So Ishwarartam karomi, atma shuddhyartam karomi. Okay? Yasmacha. So Bhagavan wants to show the contrast. What if you don't do it like that? What happens? So corollary also need to be understood. So anytime a law is taught, the benefit of following the law is listed, and if you do not follow, the repercussions of not following that is also listed. So Bhagavan lists both side by side in this verse very beautifully. Sita auntie, are you available to read? Yeah, let us read. Yuktah karma phalam tyaktva.
Yuktah karma phalam tyaktva.
Shanti mapnoti naishtikim.
Shanti mapnoti naishtikim.
Ayuktah kamakarena.
Ayuktah kamakarena.
Phale sakto nibadhyate.
Phale sakto nibadhyate.
Yuktah karma phalam tyaktva. Shanti mapnoti
naishtikim. आयुक्तः कामरेण फले वक्त्यो विबध्यते.
Ayuktah kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. Okay. So let us look at what yuktaha karmapalam tyaktva shantihi apnoti shantim apnoti naishtikim shantim apnoti ayuktaha kamakarena phale saktaha kamakarena ayuktaha nibadhyate. Okay, what does that mean? Yukta. So Bhagavan makes two categories here. See, one yukta and another ayukta. Yukta is a yogi, a karma yogi. Okay, ayukta is a laukika person who is not a karma yogi. So what happens to yukta? What happens to ayukta? Okay, he starts with yuktaha. So this one who has aligned to karma yoga, who has established in yoga, this person, karma phalam, the fruit of karma, the fruit of his work, tyaktva, having abandoned that, he does not become a bhokta. He has given that up. Tyaktva, naishtikim shantim, eternal shanti, nishtha, shanti nishtha. It is not as though like I am peaceful for some time and then it goes away for some time and then I am peaceful. No. Naishtikim shantim. He is always very peaceful. Apnoti. He attains. This person, yuktaha karma palam tyaktva, bhoktritvam tyaktva, shantim apnoti naishtikim. Shanti nishtham apnoti. Okay. Ayuktaha. So, the one who is not aligned to karma yoga, who is not a yogi, what happens to them? Kama karena, impelled by desire. Kama karena, kamaha eva karanam, tasmat kama karaha. Okay, kama is the karanam. So for that person, kama karena phale, in that fruit, in the karma phala, saktaha, he gets attached to that karma phala. And you know what a karma phala is? It is papa and punya. And what does that do? Nibadhyate. It nicely ties you. In fact, Jnaneshwara gives a very nice analogy of how nicely you are tied. Okay, it nicely ties you. So he says, having given up the fruits of action, the yogi attains peace born of commitment to yoga. Naishtikim shantim apnoti. For the one who is not committed, he gets attached to the results and gets bound by it. Nibadhyate. So this is the corollary. So if you, Arjuna, if you become a karma yogi, this is the benefit. But if you choose not to, let me tell you what is the disadvantage. Now you can make an intelligent choice. That is the intention of Bhagavan in giving that. So Bhagavan gives both sides of the equation. So let's look at the bhashyam. Yuktaha. So a yogi. So he defines that yuktaha all the time, and in all the three verses that we see, you see that definition. Ishwaraya karmani karomi na mama phalaya ityevam samahitaha. So I am doing this for the sake of Ishvara, for universal benefit. Na mama phalaya, not for my benefit. Ityevam samahitaha. I am not the karta, I am not the bhokta. Here, he is the karta, but he is not the bhokta. You know, for a jnani, he is neither the karta nor the bhokta, he is a jnata. But for a karma yogi, he is the karta, but he is not the bhokta. Sattva Shuddhi is the karma phalam. So that is the difference. Samahitaha sanne karma phalam tyaktva parityajya shanti mokshakyam apnoti naishtikim. He gets moksha phala. See, does karma yoga lead to moksha? Many people will say karma yoga will not lead to moksha. So this is another fancy thing that all the neo-Vedantis will do. They'll say you have to come to Vedanta class, then only you will get moksha. If you go serve the world, all these people, all the Ramakrishna Math sannyasis won't get moksha because not they won't say it like that, but they will mean it like that, as though like they go serve the world. What is the use of serving the world? You should come and study Shastra. Shastra alone is the mirror that will tell you the all that. But yes, that is true. But here Shankaracharya wants to give that clarity. So he interprets the word Shanti to mean moksha. Shantim mokshakyam apnoti. So if you follow karma yoga, you will get moksha. So how? So isn't it contradicting all the Shastra? No, it is not. Let me explain you. Naishtikim nishtayam bhavam satvashuddhi jnana prapti sarvakarma sannyasa jnana nishta kramena iti vakyaseshaha. You know that this is a phrase, but there is something to be added to that. It is going to give you moksha, but let me tell you the process that it takes to give you moksha. First, sattvashuddhi. It gives you the purity of mind. Your mind becomes very sattvic. Okay? And then Sattva-shuddhi jnana praptihi. Jnana here, this is a very beautiful proclamation of Shankaracharya here. Because, see, what is jnana? Satyam jnanam anantam brahma. Atma is jnana. Where is jnana? Ahameva, I am the one, I am this universe. How does that jnanam will occur? When the mind becomes extremely pure, that jnana which is Atma itself will shine. Here Bhagavan doesn't say then you have to go to Vedanta class. He doesn't say that. See, this is a contradiction that many people present. I just want to present what Shankaracharya says. Okay, they don't have a quarrel with me. Sattva Shuddhi leads to Jnana Prapti. This Jnana Prapti leads to Sarva Karma Sannyasa. Slowly you withdraw from many of the activities that are propelled by desire, and you act only to sustain your body by prarabdha. And Sarva Karma Sannyasa, what that does is that Jnana Nishtha. So first jnana occurs, but then that nishtha is not there. And slowly when that jnana becomes very well established, then mokshakyam, that is moksha. So this is the process. Iti vakyaseshaha. Vakyasesha means the rest of the sentence is this. What? Sattva shuddhi dvara jnana praptihi. Jnana prapti dvara sarvakarma sannyasa. Sarvakarma sannyasa dvara jnana nishtha. This is the krama. Kramena. Iti. So he attains a peace by purity of mind. Then attainment of knowledge or jnana. Then renouncing all the actions. And then firmly established in jnana. And that when you firmly establish yourself, that is moksha. Shanti, Nishtha is this is the process that of a yogi becoming a mukta. Okay, from a mumukshu to a mukta. So this is the process. Okay, so ityarthaha. Mama phalaya idam karomi karma ityevam phale saktaha nibadhyate. So Bhagavan wants to talk the corollary. So this is about all the lakshanas of a yukta. What happens to a ayukta? An ayuktaha kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. Mama phalaya idam karomi karma ityevam phale saktaha nibadhyate. Ataha tum yukto bhava ityartha. Okay. So always Shankaracharya is worried about Arjuna. Here, mama phalaya idam karomi karma ityevam phale saktaha. I am going to act for the benefit of myself, and because of that it produces a karma phala, and that karma phala nicely binds this person. If you do it for the sake of benefiting this, he gets bound by the karma. So what? Ataha, because of that, tvam yukto bhava. You becoming a yukta. Ityartaha. Not that Arjuna, all the Gita listeners, Bhagavan is directing that, hey, yeah, Gita students become a yukta. This is the call out of Bhagavan there. I'll mention one or two things and we'll conclude with this verse today. Jnaneshwara is very poetic in his thing. He says, utmost peace, the shanti is shanti mapnoti. For that he says, shanti is like a beautiful girl who will bring a garland and come to your place and offer the garland to you and wed yourself. So shanti mapnoti naishthiki. But if you do not, he says, the rope nibadyate, the rope of karma will bind you with the desire knot. Okay, kama knot will decide. He'll put a knot, like the Boy Scout knots. He'll put a kama as the knot, and moha is as the thorn that will pinch. That what if I'm bound? This thing, it has moha as the pinching thorn in that rope, and it will bind you. So he just gives more analogies to make it much more dramatic. That is how Jnaneshwari is. It is very beautiful. If you know Marathi, do please read it. I do not know Marathi. I rely on translations to read Jnaneshwari, but still it's very, very beautiful. Here Bhagavan's change of language, notice that from the previous one he uses the word yogi, yoginaha karma kurvanti. Here he uses the word yukta. So yukta means and yogi, but the special connotation is someone who is not distracted, who is in order. Yuktaha, he is well placed. Who? A yogi alone can be in order and well placed. That is the reason why Bhagavan uses this word yuktaha. So the intention is, even if it is not 100% karma yoga in the initial, however much activities that you do as yoga, that ever activity gives you enough peace, and you can enjoy that peace here and now. So phalam is immediate. It's not really. Punya or papa is something that you enjoy later. Punya and papa cannot be enjoyed immediately. Only very few punya and papa will fructify immediately, or else it gets deposited in the bank, because we have come with enough cash to spend for this lifetime. So they do not put it more cash in our purse. They put it in the bank. But this Sattva Shuddhi is here and now, which is the beauty of Karma Yoga. So Bhagavan, this Sattva Shuddhi is the reason why it is something very important is this technique of Karma Yoga is a way by which you rewire your brain. We saw that in the previous verse too. I want to re-emphasize this. It slowly fills all the grooves of vasanas with sattva, and it makes the mind contented, and it makes you enjoy a certain peace that is very beautiful. So that is the reason why you see all these Mahatmas who are always very active. Swami Vivekananda, he says a very beautiful thing. So he says by the end of his life, he was somebody who worked in 24 hours, he worked at 20 hours a day. And he lived only, if you work like that, the body is going to give up at a certain point. So he lived only until his 30s. Okay, I think he passed away when he was 38. So he says, before he passed away, so much of peace has set on me with all the action that I did. See, all the action, that stress in the action does not exist with these Mahatmas, and that's the reason why many of the sannyasis, they do more activities than a grihastha. Actually, Swami Chinmayananda was like that. Oh my God, oh gosh, how much travel he made, how many satsangs he did. All the Mahatmas, I have seen Swami Dayananda personally too many a times, as to how, and so many other Mahatmas as well. So another re-emphasis before we conclude, the last point that I want to bring is this Ishwararpana Buddhi is something that Shankara wants to repeatedly emphasize in every time, even if that is not directly in the verse. Yuktaha, he defines that person as Ishwaraya Karmani Karomi, na mama phalaya. So, because you have to have a motive. Without motive, you cannot act. Many people say that you should act without motive. Without motive, who can act? You need a motive, but the motive is not personal, but universal welfare. Ishwaraya. In fact, again, let me conclude today's session, satsang, with one verse of Shankara, where he says, यद्यत् कर्म करोमि तत्तदखिलं शम्भो तवाराधनं करचरणकृतं वा करचरण hands and legs कृतं वा कायजं, anything that is done with his body, karmajam va, anything that is propelled by my previous karma, shravana nayanajam va, by my ears. Because my ears hears a lot of things, I get a lot of ideas. Because I see a lot of things, I get a lot of ideas. The satsang itself is Shravana Nayana Pradhana. Shravana Nayana Jam va, Manasam va. This is another problem. Even if all the indriyas are quiet, my mind is acting. Aparadham. Many things are or not dharmic. Vihitam. Many things are very good. Vihita karma, I perform. Many times I do things that are not that correct. Avihitam va sarvam etat sarvam. All this sarvam etat kshamasva. You forgive. Shiva 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 Bho Shri Mahadeva Shambho. No. Karacharana kritam va kayajam karmajam va shravananayajam va manasam va paradham vihitam avihitam va sarvametat kshamasva jaya jaya karunabdhe Shri Mahadeva Shambho. All of this I offer it to your feet. Is the the verse, this comes from a very, very small work called Manasa Puja, Shiva Manasa Puja, Ratnaihi Kalpitamasanam, Himajalaihi Snanam, like that the verse starts, and Atmatvam Girijamate Sakacharaha Prana Shariram Griham Pujate Vishayopabhoga Rachana Nidra Samadhistitihi Sancharah Padayoho Pradakshina Vidihi Stotrani Sarva Giro Yadyat Karma Karomi Tattadakhilam Shambho Tavaradhanam. That is the verse that I wanted to bring. Both verses are very beautiful. Shambho Tava Aradhanam. Yadyat Karma Karomi. Whatever action that I am doing, all that is an aradhana to you. That you so the message is simple. Many of the religious folks do a puja. So slowly convert that 20-minute puja as not the only puja, the entire activity of the day as a puja. With that we'll conclude. Sarve bhavantu sukinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, tatsat krishnarpanamastu.